Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Bachelor Nation news fans. Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo are done with a long-distance relationship, but not the way you think. What's going on with one of the few success stories to come out of Bachelor Nation? Long-distance relationships are not easy. Bachelorette alum Rachel Lindsay and her husband Brian Abasolo are finally back together on the same coast. How are they adjusting to living under the same roof? Why were the married couple living apart? Rachel Lindsay's romance with Brian Abasolo set an example for future Bachelorette leads. Not only did she get engaged to her final rose pick, they actually made it to the altar and beyond. One of the real-life issues that come up a lot on the Bachelor franchise is location. Is the lead or their prospective mate willing to move? For some couples, distance is the doom of the relationship. But for Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo, distance only strengthened their bond. But why were they living apart in the first place? The simple answer is their careers. Since her time as the Bachelorette, Lindsay has carved herself a career in entertainment, with various podcasts and a regular gig on Extra. It was her interview with Chris Harrison for the news magazine that kicked off a firestorm of controversy involving the franchise. Many fans of the Bachelor Nation host blamed Rachel Lindsay for the entire scandal. In short, racially insensitive photos of Bachelor contestant Rachel Kirkconnell came to light. Chris Harrison appeared on Extra to defend her. After the interview, he was taken to task for refusing to outright denounce Kirkconnell's prior actions. Brian Abasolo defends wife after online hate. The hate Rachel Lindsay got went beyond nasty messages. She was getting threats to her safety and livelihood. Things got so bad with Bachelor Nation fans that Lindsay temporarily deactivated her Instagram. Brian Abasolo spoke up in his wife's defense. In an Instagram post, he encouraged her to keep going and never stop being you and fighting for what's right. R&B reunite in LA. People reports that Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo have lived on opposite coasts for the last year. While Lindsay was in California, Abasolo was tending to his budding medical career. He also has his own podcast, Dr. Ab's Healthcare. The former Bachelorette explained the separation during an appearance on his podcast last year. She said, "You're focusing on your practice and building it to a place you want it to be. The plan was always to eventually bring ourselves together." Well, the plan is in action. Earlier this week, Rachel Lindsay shared a sweet post on Instagram about their reunion. She wrote that R&B are back where we belong, together. She further revealed that her husband was still getting settled in California. During the last few months, Rachel Lindsay has spoken out about possibly ending her ties with Bachelor Nation. If she does, she will likely have her husband's full support. Season 16 Bachelorette Tayshia Adams is also navigating a bicoastal romance. Her fiancé, Zach Clark, recently surprised her in New Mexico. The California native is in New Mexico filming season 17 of The Bachelorette. Along with Caitlin Bristow, Adams is stepping in as temporary host. Join us on Facebook for all the latest
Rachel
Bachelor
Lindsay,
Nation news.
former
Former Bachelorette and fierce advocate for modern love, has stunned fans again, but this time, it's not with a red carpet appearance or a spicy podcast take. After months of swirling rumors, cryptic Instagram captions, and eagle-eyed followers dissecting every move, Rachel has officially ended her long-distance relationship with husband Brian Abasolo. But here's the twist, they're not breaking up. In fact, their latest move may be the boldest, most unexpected relationship turn fans have seen since Rachel gave out her final rose in 2017. So what really happened? Buckle up, because this story isn't just about love surviving distance. It's about reinvention, public pressure, and what it means to be a modern power couple in the spotlight. The backstory: a love born on reality TV. Rachel Lindsay made history in 2017 as the first Black Bachelorette. Fans fell in love with her intelligence, poise, and no-nonsense approach to dating. By the end of her season, she was engaged to Brian Abasolo, a charming Miami-based chiropractor who seemed to be everything she wanted: confident, consistent, and totally unbothered by the cameras. For years, their relationship appeared picture perfect. But what few fans realized was that behind the scenes, the couple was battling one of the most difficult challenges any relationship can face: distance. Rachel, based primarily in Los Angeles for her media work, and Brian, rooted in Miami for his chiropractic practice, were living nearly 2,500 miles apart. Though they never publicly framed it as a problem, eagle-eyed followers started asking, why aren't they ever in the same city? The distance dilemma. In a 2023 interview, Rachel admitted, "It's hard. We've spent more time apart in our marriage than together. It's not ideal, but it's what we chose because we're both pursuing what we love." This refreshing honesty was rare in Bachelor Nation, where couples are often expected to either move in together immediately or break up dramatically. Rachel and Brian were different, carving their own path, choosing purpose and partnership, even if it meant cross-country flights and long fast times. Still, cracks began to show. In 2024, Brian unfollowed several Bachelor Nation accounts. Fans speculated. A cryptic post from Rachel that read, "Sometimes love means letting go, but only of the things holding you back," went viral. Was this the beginning of the end? A subtle shift, a shocking reveal. In early 2025, Rachel posted a video of her dancing alone in an empty apartment. The caption, "Moving day." Followers were stunned. Had she left Brian? Speculation reached a fever pitch until last week, when Rachel dropped a bombshell on her podcast, Higher Learning. "I've ended my long-distance relationship," she said, "but not in the way people think. Brian and I are still together, stronger than ever, in fact. We've finally decided to live in the same city. We're both starting over, together." Social media exploded. Wait, what? Los Angeles? Miami? Nope. Try again. As it turns out, neither Los Angeles nor Miami made the cut. Rachel revealed she and Brian had chosen to relocate to Austin, Texas, a move no one saw coming. "We wanted a city where neither of us had roots so we could start fresh. LA was mine, Miami was his. Austin is ours." The decision came after months of therapy, soul-searching, and what Rachel described as painful but necessary conversations. "We were either going to keep doing what we were doing until we couldn't anymore, or take a leap. We chose the leap." A leap into the unknown. Brian has since opened a new chiropractic wellness studio in Austin, while Rachel is launching a boutique media consulting firm. They've rented a house just outside the city, with a sprawling backyard and space for 2 rescue dogs. And yes, there's a podcast studio. "We're not hiding. We're just not performing anymore," Rachel explained. The couple has agreed to set boundaries around their public life. No more joint YouTube updates. No more perfect couple branding. Just 2 people choosing love in a new way. But not everyone's convinced. The internet reacts. Is this just a soft launch divorce? Fans flooded Reddit and TikTok with skepticism. "This sounds like spin. Are they really together or just roommates?" one user asked. "I give them 6 months," another wrote. This is what happens when reality TV love hits the real world. Some fans accused Rachel of orchestrating the move as a PR stunt, especially with her new business on the horizon. Others defended her, saying she's finally taking control of her narrative after years of being misunderstood by Bachelor Nation. "Let the woman live," a fan posted on X. "They're happy. Isn't that what matters?" Rachel claps back. "This isn't for you." In a candid Instagram Live, Rachel responded to the chatter. "Everyone's got an opinion, but unless you've done a long-distance marriage for 5 years while building 2 careers from scratch, maybe sit this one out." She also addressed the subtle racism and misogyny she says has always followed her post-Bachelorette. People wanted me to be the angry black woman or the grateful one. I'm neither. I'm just trying to be whole. Why now? Why Austin? Why this? According to insiders close to the couple, the decision to finally end their long-distance chapter came after a family emergency brought them both back to Texas temporarily in late 2024. It just felt right, said one friend. They were together for a few weeks straight, and it reminded them what they were missing. Suddenly it was like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Brian reportedly closed his Miami clinic within 60 days, and Rachel began transferring her media contracts to remote options. They realized love doesn't have to be hard all the time, another source added. Sometimes you just have to choose it, even when it means giving up comfort. Friends weigh in. We didn't see this coming, but we love it. Bachelor Nation alums were quick to react. Jojo Fletcher wrote, "So proud of you two. Austin is the best. Can't wait for wine nights." Tashia Adams commented, "This is major. Rooting for you both forever." Even Bachelor host Jesse Palmer chimed in, "Love always finds a way. Wishing you all the happiness in Austin." What comes next? Babies, business, or both? Naturally, fans are asking, will this new chapter come with a baby announcement? Rachel addressed the topic on her latest podcast episode. "We've talked about kids, and we're not ruling it out, but right now, we're just getting used to living in the same house without a departure gate between us." What's more immediate? Launching their respective businesses and finally living the quiet, connected life they've both craved for years. The final rose rewritten. Rachel Lindsay and Brian Abasolo didn't follow the Bachelor playbook. They didn't rush to a wedding. They didn't post couple selfies every day. They didn't even live in the same city for years. But they're still here, and now, for the first time, they're building a life side by side, not just in theory, but in reality. This isn't a reboot, Rachel says. It's the real thing. Why this story matters. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, Rachel and Brian's story is a quiet rebellion. It's proof that relationships aren't made on reality TV. They're forged in the everyday, in the choosing, in the conversations that no one else hears. They ended their long-distance relationship, but not in the way anyone expected. They didn't break up. They finally came home to each other.